Hi, my name is Tom Savage. Nice to meet you guys. Thank you for click on my clip. I'm 17 years old. I'm here not to teach you. I'm just a beginner and I want to record myself, my journey when I'm learning new things. I don't know if today or next week can I become a millionaire or a billionaire, but I know for sure that in the future I will be successful if I can do it. Maybe this journey will give you lots of experience. So today I want to learn like basic HTML and HTML5. If you don't, I do you know do you guys know what is HTML is? So I know I have researched it before. HTML is a markup language that uses a special syntax or notation to describe the structure of web page to the browser. So HTML create content of website. It have text, image, and content of website with no like colors, just content. HTML elements usually have opening and closing tags that route and give meaning to content. For example, different elements can describe text as a heading, paragraph, or list item. So in this course, I and you guys will build a cat photo app to learn some of the most common HTML elements, the building blocks of any web page. So basically, HTML is to you you want to create a website like Facebook, YouTube. Uh, you need to have content. You need to make it look beautiful. Make it looks beautiful. So first of all, you need to have the content of website, the text of website, and then you make it beautiful by make it have animation or so like that. So let's go to say hello to HTML elements. Say hello to HTML elements. Welcome to Free Games HTML coding challenges. This will walk you through web developers step by step. So first, you'll start by building a simple web page using HTML. You can edit code in your code editor, in which is I don't know how to embed it into this web page. Do you see the code in your code editor that says H1 hello, H opening tags and hello closing tags? That is HTML element. Also, this is the first line of our code is HTML element. Most HTML elements have an opening tag and closing tag. Opening tags look like this. Also, this is opening tags, and closing tags look like this. The only difference between opening and closing tags is the forward slash. The forward the forward slash. Oh yeah, the forward slash after the opening bracket opening bracket and closing tags of the opening bracket of closing bracket. Oh, so I understand quite good this. Each challenge has tests you can run at any time by click on the run test button. Okay, when you pass all tests, you'll be promoted to submit your solution and go to the next coding challenge. To pass the text on this challenge, change your H1 elements text to hello world. Oh, so I understand. So this is opening. This is how to say. This is opening tag, and this is closing tag. You see, and we have each one is element. If you want to have, if you want to create a heading on a website, you use h1 element. And now challenge of this slide is hello world. We need to write hello world. Done. Submit and go to next challenge. Headline with the H2 element. Over the next few lessons, we'll build an HTML5 cat. Over the next few lessons. Okay, so today's lesson will build an HTML5 cat photo web app piece by piece. The H2 element you will be adding in this step will add a level 2 heading to the web page. This element tells the browser about the structure of your website. H1 elements are often used for main headings, while H2 elements are generally used for subheadings. There are also H3, H4, H5, and H6 elements. Elements to indicate different levels of subheading. This challenge, we need to add an H2 tags. That's a cat photo add to create the second element, to second HTML elements below you. Also, we need to create another heading of our web page. Remember that we need to have like opening tags, opening tags with H2, and we have text photo, cat photo add here. Submit and go to next challenge. Good, we do it. Inform with the paragraph element. Inform with the paragraph element. The P element is the preferred element for paragraph text on websites. P is short for paragraph. You can create the paragraph element like this. I'm a P tag. Create P element below your H2 element and give it the text hello paragraph. Note, as a convention, all HTML tags are written in lowercase, for example. Oh, okay, understand quite good. So we create a new element. It is P tag, P element. Remember, we need to have opening tag and closing tag. Here. Submit and go to next challenge. We are doing great. Oh, I don't have money. Ask me later. Fill in the blank with placeholder text. Web developers traditionally use lorem text as placeholder text. The lorem is when text is randomly scraped from a famous passage by P.O. Anderson. Lorem text has been used as a placeholder text by typesetters in the 16th century, and this tradition continues on the web. Well, 5 centuries is long enough since we are building a cat photo app. Let's use something called Kitty Ism. Place the text inside your P element with the first few words of this What does this mean? I don't understand so much. So replace the text inside B element with first few words. Also, we use like we need to text this, right? Oh, just we replace uncommon HTML. Commenting is a way that you can leave comments for other developers within your code without affecting the result output that is displayed to the end user. Commenting is also a convenient way to make code inactive without having to delete it entirely. Oh, so common is kind of when you write common in HTML, mm, uh, mm, it will ignore web your web your website will ignore uh, the codes inside common. So now challenge of this lesson is uncommon. So this is uncommon, right? We need to delete common. So yeah, when we delete comments in HTML, like our mm, contents will appear, but when we comment our codes and then uh, website will ignore our contents because we comment it, right? Comment out HTML. Remember that in order to start a comment, you need to use the this syntax, and to end a comment, you need to use this. Okay, quite understand. Here you need to end the comment before H2 elements begins. Comment out your H1 element and your P element, but not H. Oh, so we just need to comment H1 element. So first we need to use this, and then we closing with this, right? So but we don't comment out the H2 element, so we ignore it. We just comment H1 and P elements here, right? Hmm. delete delete HTML elements. Our phone doesn't have much vertical space. Let's remove the unnecessary elements so we can start building our cat photo. Delete your H1 element so we can simply our view. So we need to delete H1, right? Good. Introduction to HTML5 elements. So HTML5 introduce more descriptive HTML tags. These include main, header, footer, nav, video, articles, sections, and others. These tags will give a descriptive, descriptive structure to your all main header, footer, nav, video, article, section. Hmm. These tags give a descriptive structure to your HTML, make your HTML easier to read. and help with search engine optim optimization, 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 SEO, and accessibility. The main HTML5 tag help search and and another developers find the main content of your web page. Example usage: a main element with two child elements nested inside. Oh, so I quite understand this. So like HTML5 introduced like main, header, footer, nav, video, articles section. Like when you want to have a heading, you nest that heading in main. You and yeah, I quite understand. Note many of the new HTML5 tags and their benefits are covered in applied accessibility section. Create a second B element with the following kitty. Assume okay. Then create a main element and nest only to be create a main element and nest only the two p element inside the main. Oh, I quite understand. So first we create p element. Remember we need to have opening tag and closing tag, and then we need to have tags like this to each the class the couch I'm writing the uh, I'm writing the tags of p for p element for the second paragraph. Oh my god! Because I bought I just bought my keyboard like two days ago, and I now it's hard for me to type. I'm training my skill type by trying to write. Okay. Your P element should contain the first. We should have two P elements each. Your P element should have a closing tag. Your PM should contain the first few words of. I don't know how to say it. Okay, your code should have one main element. So we will nest two pieces two we will nest to be elements in main element. Like main element is just make our readers easy to read for it. like uh, like this main main element, header element, footer, nav, video, articles section elements. All of these elements, it just makes reader easy to read our codes. Add images to your website. You can add images to your website by using the image element and point to a specific images URL using the src attribute. An example of this would be image here. Okay, quite understand. Note that image elements are self-closing. Let me see. Okay, our image elements must have an R RLT art have an art. Image elements have an art attribute. The text inside an art attribute is used for screen readers to improve accessibility, accessibility and is displayed if the image fails to load. Ah, understand here. Note if the image is poorly decorative, decorative. Uh, if the image is poorly decorative, using an anti-art attribute is a best practice. Mm, I, ideally, the art attribute should not contain special characters unless needed. Let's add an art attribute to image. Let's try to add an image to our website within the existing main within the existing main element. Insert an image element. Uh, insert yeah image element before the existing p elements. Now set src attribute so that it points to the URL file. Don't forget to give your image element. Oh, understand. So first we will have like self-closing image element, and then we will have like src attribute, and then I give this this attribute a value, and then our picture appear in our website. My website. It's cool, right? It's cool. So I think it's super cool right now. But we forget to add art attribute with the yeah. So here, kitty 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 cat. Okay, complete. So link to external pages with anchor elements. Link to external pages with anchor element. You can use a anchor elements to link to content outside of your web page. A elements need a destination web address called an H href attribute. This destination web address called an destination. So let me read it again. Link to external web pages with anchor elements. You can use a anchor elements to link to content outside of your web page. Uh, a elements need a destination web address called an href attribute. They also need anchor text. Here's an example. Mm, okay, understand. Then your browser will display the text. This links to freecodecamp.org as link you can click, and that link will take you to the web address here. So we will create an a anchor or a element that links to this link website and has cat photos as its anchor text. So here I will have an anchor element with opening tags and closing tag, and then we give it a text like cat photo, and then here we have a text. We have a text cat photos here, but if you want to turn cat photo text to link, you need to give an href attribute with the value with links value. Here we done. So we turn cat photos tag to a link. Here, can you? I see this. So, oh great. Link to internal sections of a web page with anchor elements. Link to internal section. Link to internal section of a page with anchor element. What does it mean? So a anchor elements can also be used to create internal links to jump to different sections within a web page. To create an internal link, you you assign a link's href attribute to a hash symbol. Oh, I understand. Link to internal sections of a web page with anchor elements. Okay, understand this. Anchor elements can also be used to create internal links to jump to different sections within a web page. To create a link internal to create an internal link, you assign a link's href attribute to a hash symbol a hash symbol plus the value of the id attribute for the element that you want to internally link to. Usually further down the web page, you then need to add the same id attribute to the element you are linking to. An id is an attribute that uniquely describes an element. Uh, Below is an example of an internal anchor link and its target element. So when user click the context link, they will be taken to the section of the web page with the context heading element. I understand. Change your external link to an internal link by changing href attribute to footer. And the text from cat photo to jump to button. So first we need to change value of href attribute to like change the text to jump to bottom, and then we change this value to a a heart symbol with a footer. Remove the target blank. Attribute from the anchor tag, since this causes the link document to open in a new window tab. Then add an ID attribute with a value of footer to the footer element at the bottom at the bottom of the web page. Here we have footer element and we need to add ID attribute with the footer value, and then we finish. Good, great. So nest an anchor element within a paragraph. You can nest 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 an anchor element within a paragraph. Nest an anchor element within a paragraph. So what does it mean? You can nest uh, links within other text element. Here, let's break down the example. Normal text is wrapped in the p element. So we have p element. I have p element here. I have p element here. Next is the anchor element a, which requires a closing tag here. Target is an anchor tag attribute that specifies where to open the link. The value blank specifies to open the link in a new tab. The href is an anchor tag attribute that contains the URL address of the link. Here I see. So the text link to within the a anchor element is called anchor text and will display link. Hmm. What does it mean? I don't understand. So so we nest an anchor element within a paragraph. You can nest links within other text element. Oh, understand. Nest the existing a element within a new element. Do not create a new anchor tag. The new paragraph should have text that says where cat photos is linked and the rest is plain text. So this challenge here, I see you should create a new P element. There should be at least 3 total P tags in your HTML code. So we need to create a new P element. Oh my god, I still don't formula. Remember? Okay. Your anchor element should be nested within your new P element. So we will have a element is nested in P a new P. Your a element should be nested within the new P. Yeah, I do it already. Hmm. Nest the existing element within. Oh, understand. Here I have like a pre I have a previous anchor or I have previous anchor, so I need to nest an anchor, previous anchor, uh, wrap it an anchor in p element here. Quite good so far. And then we just mm, mm, add view more text. Oh great. Make that links use the heart symbol. Make that links use the heart symbol. Sometimes you want to add a anchor elements to your website before you know where they will link. This is also when you are changing handy this is also handy when you are changing the behavior of a link use JavaScript. Which we'll learn about later. The current value of the href attributes is a link that points to this link. Replace the href attribute value with a heart symbol. Okay, also known as heart symbol to create a dead link. Mm, mm, Here, I need to replace this link to heart symbol. Cool, super cool. Turn an image. Turn an image into a link. Turn an image into a link. Oh, I can turn image into a link. Wow, super cool. You can make elements into links by nesting them within an A element. Nest your image within an A element. Here's an example. Remember to use hash symbol as your A elements href property in order to turn it into a dead link. Place the existing image element within an A anchor element. Once you've done this, hover over your image with your cursor. Your cursor normal pointer should become the link click pointer. The photo is now a link. Hover cursor. Your cursors. Oh, so place the existing image and within. Oh, so this is the previous image I created the last lesson. So I need to graph this previous image in an anchor element, and then remember anchor element have closing and I remember. Okay, remember. And then we we haven't seen anything here, but when we give an href attribute a value hash symbol, when we remove when I move my cursor here, you notice when I move my uh, cursor And here is super cool, right? Super cool. So I'll create a bullet. Bullet, 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 bullet. What is bullet? Create a bulleted under knowledge. Bulleted another list. Create a bulleted another list. HTML has a special element for creating an, an, an order list or bullet point style list. An order list, an ordered list. Start with an opening UL element followed by any number of URL elements. Finally, an ordered list close with we have closing tags. Would create a bullet point style list of milk and cheese. Remove the last two p elements. Okay, remove it and create another list with three things that cast love at the bottom of the page. So I need to create an outlet. First, I need to have an opening tab, UL elements opening tab and UL elements closing tags. And then I need to have LI, three LI elements. Oh my god, why my type is so it's not good here. And then cast love cats. Cat love cats. Cat is love Tom. Cat love fish. Maybe. Then I'm doing great job. Is it the way how I create a bullet list or an ordered list? An order split. So now we want to create an ordered list. HTML has another special elements for creating ordered. This are numbered list. Ordered list start with an opening OL element followed by any number of UL elements. Finally, ordered lists are closing with here. So here, what create a number list of graphic and create another list of the three top trees in cut height. So create an ordered list of the top things cat height. So first, I need to have like um, all all OL element with closing opening and closing tag. Then I give it like three LI elements. LI elements. My type is not good though, so cat hate dogs. Definitely cat hate dogs. Cat hate cats and cat hate Tom. Great. Create a text field. Create a text field. What is text field? Now let's create a web form. A web form or create a text field. Input elements are a convenient way to get input from your user. Oh, so understand. You can create a text input like this. Input type text. Note that input elements are self-closing. An input element with type of text below your list. Here, input text with type text self input is self-closing text, right? Super cool. A placeholder text to a placeholder text to a text field. Placeholder text is displayed in your input element before your user has inputted anything. You can create placeholder text like so. Input type text placeholder. This is placeholder text. Input type text placeholder. Oh, remember that input elements are self-closing. Set placeholder value of your text input to cat. Oh, so this is my input here. This I have to input a form here. So I I will I want I will add placeholder placeholder then cat photo URL. No. You should add a placeholder attribute to the existing text input. Here, placeholder. I forget R in the end of word. Okay, done. So what is placeholder? So placeholder is this, like like this. Okay, it's so far so good. Create a form element. You can build web forms that actually submit data to a server using nothing more than pure HTML. You can do this by specifying an action attribute on your form element. You can build web forms that actually submit data to a server using nothing more than pure HTML. You can do this by specifying an action attribute on your form element. For example, form action URL. Okay, nesting the existing input element inside a form. Okay. Oh, I have a car. Wait me. Fuck man is like what the heck is that? Is the creator form element? So far so good. Creator form element. Form element? So what is form element? Can be web forms that actually submit data to a server using nothing more than your HTML. You can do this by specifying action attribute on your form element. Okay, so nesting input element with inform. and then give it an attribute action, and in action attribute we give it a link value here. So far so good. Add a submit button to a form. Submit, sub, submit, submit, submit button for form. Submit. Hmm, it's hard for me. Add a submit button to a form. Let's add a submit button. Submit, submit, submit. Let's add a submit button to your form. Clicking this button will send the data from your form to the URL you specified with your form's action attribute. Oh, so far so good. So here, examples submit button. Button type submit this button submit. Add button as the add button as the last element of your form element with the type submit. Submit as its text. So I will add a button as the last element of form element with a type submit. Button. Right. You should form your form should have a button on side. Oh, so here your submit button should have the attribute type set to submit. So type attribution to submit. Your submit button should only have the text submit. Submit. So that's so good. Use HTML5 to require a field. You can require specific form fields so that your user will not be able to submit your form until he or she has filled them out. For example, if you wanted to make a text input field required, you can just add the attribute required within your input element like this input. Okay, make your text input required field so that you can submit the form without completing this field. Then try to submit the form without input any text. Okay, so we will add like add required required attribute, and then I will try submit. So please fill out this field. So I need to do this. So good. So far so good. Create a set of radial buttons. You can use radial buttons for requests for questions where you want the user to only give you one answer out of multiple options. Create a set of radial buttons. Can use radial buttons for questions where you want the user only give you one answer out of multiple options. Radial buttons are type of input each your radial buttons can be nested within its own label element. By wrapping an input element inside of a label element, it will automatically associate the radial button input with the label element surrounding. It will automatically associate the radial button input with the label element surrounding. All related radial buttons should have the same name attribute to create a radial button group. By creating a radial group, selecting any single radial button will automatically select the other buttons within the same group, ensuring only one answer is provided by user. Here's an example of radial button. It is considered best practice to set for attribute on the label element with a value that matches the value of ID attribute of the input element. This allows assistive technology to create a linked relationship between the label and the related input element. For example, input ID indoor type. Consider past practice to set a for attribute on the label element with a value that matches the value of the ID attribute of the input element. This allows assistive technology to create a link relationship between the label and the related input element. Mm, okay, quite understand maybe. Okay, add a pair of radial buttons to your form. Each nested in. So I need to create two label, and then nested input in maple. Input is self-closing tag. Here, one should have the option of indoor. Indoor. And the other should have the option of outdoor. Both should share the same name attribute of the indoor-outdoor. I need to I'm adding name attribute indoor outdoor. So cool. What? Your page should have the radar buttons element. Type radio or understand. So if you want to have a like if you want to have a radar button, you need to add type. I think that I need to add type attribute with radar, right? Right. And same with the second one, radar. Okay, so far so good. Each of your radar button elements should be added within form. Oh, form. So, oh, and then I need to ask next. mm, Each your radar button element should be added within form. So I need to wrap input in form element. Each your two radar buttons should be nested. What does it mean? I don't know how to say that. Function shall name should be each your radio buttons elements should be added within the form tag. Form tag here. Why? It's super hard for me at the moment. Each of your radio button channels should be added through the form tab. Oh, each of your radio buttons. What does it mean? It's hard. Maybe I need to get help. Ask for help. Oh, in a form here. I know it. Holy shit. Here. Okay, I understand. I need to nest. I need to nest my my new two new input in previous form. Oh my god. Create a set of text box forms commonly use text box for questions that may have more than one answer. Text box are a type of input. Each of your text box can be nested within its own label element by wrapping an input element with inside inside of a label element. It will uh, automa- automatic, automatically associate the text box input with the label element surrounding it. All related text box input should have the same name attribute. It is considered best practice to explicitly explicitly define the relationship between a text box input and its corresponding label by setting the form attribute on the label element to match the ID attribute of the associated element. Mm, add to your form add to your form a set of three checkboxes. Each checkbox should be nested within its own label element, and three should share the name attribute personality. So first I need to create three labels, and then I need to have my text box input text box. your text box should be given name personality RGB. I need to personality. Okay, each of your text box should be added within the form tag. Okay, so far so good. Yeah, to see our web page. It's super hard and super long time, right? Okay. Mm, use use the value attribute with radio buttons and text box. When a form gets submitted, the data is sent to the server and includes entires for the options selected. Inputs of type radio and checkbox report their values from the value attribute. Use the value attribute with radio buttons and checkbox. When a form gets submitted, the data is sent to the server and includes entires for the options selected. Inputs of type radio and checkbox reported their value from it. Here you have the radio inputs when the user submits the form with the indoor option selected. The form data will in here you have the radio inputs here. Yeah, I have the radio input. Oh, it's so crazy. I don't see anything. When the user submits the form the with the indoor option selected, the form data will include the line indoor, outdoor, here, where, here. Here you have the radio inputs when the user submits the form with the indoor option selected. The form data will include the line indoor, outdoor, indoor. This is from the name. If you omit the value attribute, the submitted form data use the default value is on. In this scenario, if the user click on the indoor option and submit the form, the result from data will should be indoor and outdoor on, which is not useful, so the value attribute needs to be set to something identified. The option if each of the existing radio and checkbox inputs the value attribute do not create any new radio or checkbox element. Oh. I still don't understand what is radio. Value attribute is. Use the value attribute with radio buttons and checkbox. When a form gets submitted, the data is sent to the server and includes entires for the options selected. Inputs of type radio and checkbox report their values from their value attribute. Here you have the radio inputs. When the user submits the form with the indoor option selected, the form data will include the line indoor, outdoor, indoor. This is from the name and value attributes of the indoor input. If you omit the value attribute, the submitted form data uses the default value, which is on. In this scenario, if the user clicks the indoor option and submitted the form, the resulting from data would be indoor outdoor on, which is not useful. So the value attribute needs to be set to something to identify the option. Give it I understand so quite good. Yes. Here value. I need to give value. So first, one of your radar buttons should have the value attribute of indoor. Here, indoor. You see the one of my radar buttons should have the value attribute of indoor, and then the second value. One of your radar buttons should have value of outdoor, and one of your text box should have the value attribute of living. Tiger, lazy, and inserted. Oh, and inserted. Okay, so far so good. Check radar buttons and checkbox by default. Here we have this. Check radar buttons and checkbox by default. What does it mean? You can set a text box of or radar button to check by default using check. Oh, to do this, just add the word checked to the inside an input element, for example. Oh, so set the first of your radar buttons and the first of your text box to both checked by default. Okay. See the first. Then text box to the second. Here, right? So far so good. Match many elements within a single div element. Match many elements within a single div element. The div element, also known as a division element. Division it is general purpose container for other elements. The div element is probably the most commonly used HTML element of all. Just like any other non-self-closing element, you can open a div element with div and close it on another line with div. Rest your things cast love, thing cast love, and top three thing cast loves here. Mm, Top 3 things cat hate. These are within a single div element. Time with your opening div tag above your theme cat slot the element and other tag after. What does it mean? Your P element should be nested inside your div element. Yeah, I think so. Oh, understand. Yeah, so far so good. Declare the doc type of an HTML document. The challenges so far have covered specific HTML elements and their uses. However, there are a few elements that give oversaw, overall structure to your web page and should be included every HTML document. At the top of your document, you need to tell the browser which version of HTML your page is using. HTML is an evolving language and is updated regularly. Most major browsers supported the latest specification, which is HTML5. However, older web pages may use previous version of the language. You tell the browser this information by adding doctype tag on the first line is is important, especially for all older browser. The HTML is not case sensitive. Next, the rest of HTML code needs to be wrapped. In HTML tags, the opening HTML goes directly below the doctype HTML line, and the closing HTML goes at the end of the page. Here an example of the page structure. Your HTML code would go in the space between HTML tags and doctype tags for HTML5 to the top of the blank. HTML document is the code editor under it. Here, wherein define the head and body of HTML document. You can add other level of organization in your HTML document within the HTML tags with the head and body elements. Any markup with information about your page will go into the head tag. Then any markup with the content of the page what displays for a user would go into the body tag. Meta data elements such link, meta, title, and style. Mm, Oh, oh my God, we have done. Oh, oh, oh my God, this is so hard. Nice to meet you guys. See you later. In next chapter. Now I need to relax a little bit. Bye bye. Thank you for watching my video. Nice to meet you guys. We have already done basic HTML and HTML5.